Brought to you by Health Diagnostic Laboratory, Inc. Welcome back to the broadcast. Okay, when it comes to protecting yourself and your health, knowing what's lurking in your genetics can really just beyond help you. It can do so much for you. That's why we love featuring the folks from Health Diagnostic Laboratory. Their testing is critical in knowing exactly what's going on with your body. Medical Director Dr. Tara Dall is back with us today. Hello.
I feel like we need to have fun today.
I know, it's our birthday today.
How fun can we make cholesterol?
Well, I don't know. I was having a cocktail a moment ago from the folks at Kamali, and I had to walk by you. I felt like I needed to hide it.
See, I think we're just raising your, HDL cholesterol a little bit in the process.
Is that what happened?
Well, technically, we don't know if it's good or bad, but in moderation, alcohol's not a bad thing. If I do a little bit of it, I figure it's good for everyone.
Everything in moderation, and that's a good rule for everything. And so when it comes to testing people for serious diseases like heart disease. You guys look at everything. I mean, you look at some markers that most doctors wouldn't bother looking at.
Right.
Maybe aren't even aware of.
Right.
Right?
And it's so important, especially for women, because women don't have what's traditional. I mean, cholesterol testing, LDL cholesterol is not usually high in women, but we find women who have had heart disease wouldn't even have qualified for trials, heart disease prevention trials, because they didn't have any of the traditional characteristics that we see. So it's so important that we really be able to identify early in life, hey, you've got genetics that are putting you at risk here, and then we can do something about it.
So that's really what we're talking about with this particular test, is it's like a genetic profile on your predisposition for something like heart disease.
Right. And we were just joking about HDL being elevated with alcohol, which the HDL, or what we consider the healthy cholesterol, can go up.
Within reason.
Within reason, yes. But, the thing is, we used to think that women, because they have a high HDL, are protected from heart disease. And actually, that now we're beginning to realize may not be true. And actually, the HDL, or that good cholesterol, may actually become pro-inflammatory and actually contribute to disease. So all the things that doctors have been telling us, that if you have a high HDL, you're protected from heart disease, may actually not be true. I mean, that's really new cutting-edge science.
Which makes a lot of sense when we look at the statistics, and it's the #1 killer of women.
Absolutely. So the advanced testing we do, it can really sort out whether that HDL you have is protecting you or not. So it can kind of tell you the story that the traditional testing really doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's really important.
Now, when we talk about testing for women, I'm sure one of the concerns that women bring to you is you hit a certain age and you start to feel lethargic, maybe your sex drive goes away, all sorts of issues. Your skin gets dry, your hair gets dry, and these are kind of hormonal issues that you can also test for.
Absolutely, and we really look at a really whole comprehensive panel of metabolic and hormonal issues to be able to address what's making us feel tired, what's making us feel sluggish, why is it that the sex drive just kind of went to pot all of a sudden? What's that about? Because we don't need to feel this way. We shouldn't feel just because we're getting into each decade, I figure 40s is a good decade to be in, right?
Well,
but I'm going to say 50s in a couple years.
Yeah, well, as long as you're aware of the issues and you're being proactive about it, like with this testing, being proactive so that you can stay ahead of it. Because boy, once it hits you and you feel like crap all the time, it's harder to pull yourself out of it. So the preventative testing is just so important.
Right. And if we can find out that there's a thyroid issue going on, or there's a metabolic insulin resistance, or something that we've talked about in previous shows, that just gives us so much information about how to make women feel better. Because now that we understand what's going on, we can really find all sorts of creative ways to make people feel better.
And it can be something as simple as what I found on my test is I was really low in vitamin D.
Yes.
And
many people are.
Now taking a supplement, I do feel that I have more energy and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's...
Is there a genetic piece to the hormonal thing for women?
Well, definitely as women age, hormones shift and change. I mean, they probably shift and change for men too, but it's a little bit more obvious for women. And as our estrogen level declines, women do experience symptoms related to that. And for some, it may be skin changes. For some, it may be mood changes. For others, they just seem to gracefully go through this stage with nothing.
I hate those women. I'm kidding. No, but really, I mean, I know some women, and myself included, that, I never got acne as a kid, really. I didn't deal with it. And then, I hit 40, and all of a sudden I'm getting breakouts in my skin, and it is like those hormonal changes. But again, had I stayed ahead of it and really had this comprehensive testing of my blood, I would know what I was dealing with, and I'd be able to sort of, headed off.
Right, absolutely. And there's really no, I mean, even in your 20s, it makes sense to have it done, because that way you really have a window into what may be coming 20 years from now, and we can do something about it. So that's
well, and then
cool.
you have
It's
a
empowering.
benchmark too, right? You
Absolutely.
have a marker. And would you recommend like every year or every?
Well, I think that if you have a perfectly beautiful panel, every year is certainly fine, because as we get older, things will change. But for people who have a lot of abnormalities where we need to monitor, then we would probably do it more often.
Get your testing done. Okay, you can get more information about the Health Diagnostic Laboratory by going to their website, hdlabinc.com. You can also call them at the number there on your screen. And remember to talk to your own doctor to request the HDL test. These folks will be here every Tuesday to talk about your health. We love it when they're here. We learn so much. And we are back with more broadcast in just a moment.